resilience is not a quality.
Okay.
It is actually a skill.
In the Colonel Sanders example, if KFC had never become what it became, right, and he had never become successful, he would still be resilient because he kept attempting.
As you move forward in life, if you start practicing resilience, you will be in a better position to handle your problems or the challenges that come across. But one thing that helps us in boosting our resilience is that you need to take care of yourself. Only when you take care of yourself, when you are aware of yourself, you will be able to refocus and build your confidence.
Hello and welcome to the JIBS podcast. I'm your host Bhaskar, and today we are joined by Dr. Finita, who is an associate professor at the Jindal Institute of Behavioral Sciences. And the topic we're going to speak about is something really interesting, something that a lot of people talk about, but we thought it's important we break it down because the word itself is quite heavy. The topic is resilience. We sort of understand what it is in common parlance, but I think Dr. Finita, with her expertise, will be the best person to tell us about what is resilience and how one can build that. So Dr. Finita, my first question to you, welcome to the podcast first of all. My first question to you is, what is resilience? It sounds like such a big word.
Yes, resilience is actually our life is a journey. Okay, in that we have setbacks. Sometimes we make mistakes, circumstances change, there are unexpected things happening, and resilience is how we recover from that and gain strength and come back, take control of our life. That is what resilience is.
Okay, so that's a very easy idea for such a big concept. So it's just basically being able to come back from a setback, I think.
Yes, it is simply getting up, bouncing back from what you have experienced.
Right. But that still seems very abstract. Because everyone will do it differently then?
Yes, everybody does it very differently. A person who is highly resilient would be solving problems in a better way or very easily. He will have a can attitude. He will have a set of us. He will be ready to ask for help, and this is how a person with a high resilience will be. And a person who has a lesser resilience will have problems like when he will not be able to handle pressure and will experience a lot of anxiety and distress and maybe feel a little deflated.
So, this is interesting. So, it's something that a person will have high or low amounts of.
Yes, exactly.
Right? How does that differentiation take place? How do you know someone is high on resilience and low?
I will tell you this. So this is actually, I will talk to you about this resilience scale. Have you heard about the resilience scale? It is actually a metaphor for the scale, fulcrum scale. Okay. The fulcrum scale, as you see, it has a fulcrum, and there is a beam where you can have these weights. Okay, let's suppose that the life is a fulcrum. Okay, so you have a lot of positive experiences and negative experiences which weigh down on each side. So actually, finding the fulcrum is your process of getting control of your life and managing your balance. Okay, so it is not about how many positive experiences you have or how many negative experiences you have. It is actually about how you know to shift the fulcrum in order to leverage it towards your positive experiences.
Okay. So how do you demarcate somebody who has high resilience? What are the characteristics of a person like that?
So actually, resilience is not a quality. It is actually a skill. Okay, so it is like as you move forward in life, if you start practicing resilience, you will be in a better position to handle your problems or the challenges that come across. So with practice, so when I say it is a skill, it is all about practice. So the more you practice, in the longer run, you are able to better equip yourself.
Right, so that doesn't mean that you look for more setbacks so that you can keep bouncing back. That's not what we mean, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if you say resilience is a skill and it's something that one can develop, are there techniques to build resilience?
Yes. How can we boost our resilience? Okay, so it is like whenever there is a problem, a better idea is to break up these problems so that you are able to manage them in bite-sized pieces and then look at positives. Okay, not looking at what is happening negatively in our life, but look at positives. And it is a good idea to build a support network. It can be family, it can be friends, it can be our colleagues also. And one thing that helps us in boosting our resilience is that you need to take care of yourself. Only when you take care of yourself, when you are aware of yourself, you will be able to refocus and build your confidence. And the last thing I would like to say is know your limits. There are a lot of times when we think about many things that are not out of our locus of control, and we don't know where our limits are. Because of that, we feel very overwhelmed, and that brings down our resilience.
Right. So even pushing yourself too hard is
also
not a great idea.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So from what I can take away from that is focus on the positive. It's not that you avoid the negative, but don't sort of ruminate over it, so that you forget what are the good things that are going on. Then the third thing is
build a support system.
So these are, I think, in clinical terms they call them protective factors, right?
Yes.
So resilience in that way works alongside that. So then why do we keep hearing that this person has high resilience and this person has low resilience? What differentiates these two individuals?
Okay.
Could you give an example maybe of someone who has, say, high resilience and someone who might have shown lower resilience?
The first person who comes to my mind when I talk about resilience is Colonel Sanders, who all of us know, who has started the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Okay, so he, at the age of 65, even after many people have rejected him, I think it is around 1,009 people rejected his recipes, and after that he did not give up. So resilience and perseverance come together. Okay, so after a lot of his perseverance, he was able to come back out of the setback that he was facing. And that was one thing. And the next person, as a rehabilitation professional, I would actually name Stephen Hawkins, who has been affected by a very major disease like amyotrophic sclerosis, and he was not able to communicate, he was not able to move around, but he was able to give a lot more to the world. Okay, so that is one thing. And I can tell you, Dr. Bhaskar, as I was reading the book that you have actually written, okay, so An Endless Search for Home, I could actually relate to the antagonist in that story, which actually has a lot of resilience. Okay, so we at nearer home we can see a lot of people around us who have resilience, but we don't give a lot of observation to that. It may be our parents, it can be our grandfathers, grandmothers, and all our siblings. Many people who nearer home has shown a lot of resilience.
Thank you for explaining how resilience is shown in these many people. Often when I talk to our students and younger people, the concept of perseverance is something that is not always looked at as a positive thing, right? Because it's almost like you keep persevering while you are suffering. I think the association happens there, right? People think that, I persevered at something that is causing me problem, and then something good might come out of it, right? That's not what resilience is it? I think there is a confusion there in terms of how people understand things.
Okay, when I said that perseverance and resilience come together, it is not that we need to be very perfect. That is what I have been insisting on and off, that we should be aware of ourselves and we should know our limits. Okay, it is not about perfectionism at all. It is about understanding, even though I might persevere and I might not succeed in certain things. So the examples that I've given, there are a lot of people who persevere. There is a lot of hard work that is put in, but still they don't get what they expected. But still, after that, they learn that what has gone wrong. They take it as a learning process.
So it's not about the outcome.
It's not about the outcome. It's about the process.
So the resilience aspect is part of the journey of persevering rather than focusing on whether the outcome happens. So for instance, in the Colonel Sanders example, if KFC had never become what it became, right, and he had never become successful, he would still be resilient because he kept attempting.
Exactly.
And probably in his lived reality, he was not suffering because of this. Like, obviously there was a setback and he felt bad about it, but he had enough belief and enough resilience to keep trying it again and again and again. I think that's a good take-home message from the podcast, that perseverance doesn't equate suffering, and resilience doesn't mean you keep suffering. It's that you bounce back and you know where your limit is, and then you are able to sort of let go. Would that be fine?
Yes. So actually, I would also like to link this with the growth that we have, the growth mindset, as per Dr. Carol Dweck of the Yale University, who has come forth with the growth mindset. Okay, so when you have resilience, when you are higher on the resilience, it actually provides you benefits both personally and professionally. So personally, it all actually helps you, provides you with the strength and the growth which is required for your personal life, and professionally it actually reduces the risk of burnout.
Right.
Okay, so that is what I would think. It actually contributes to a lot more of our growth, the attitude, the mindset.
That's very interesting. It reminds me of I'd done Vipassana a few years ago, Vipassana meditation, the whole course.
Okay.
And not to take this to a religious place, but that's similar to what spirituality constantly says, right? Like, there will always be problems and there will always be setbacks. You can't sort of avoid it. But the whole objective is to treat it as a learning curve and not as a setback where, like, I don't like the idea of avoiding a problem. You face the problem, you deal with it, but you treat it as a problem, as a small event, and not as something that, sort of takes over your life.
Okay.
Yeah?
So I would like to, but taking from yours, I would like to say that this is the take-home message, that the life is like a battleground. Everybody has challenges, okay, but the challenges or the battles vary, but the battleground remains the same. There is a battleground, so everybody has their own battles and challenges.
Okay. I think that's fantastic. Thank you, Dr. Vinita.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bhaskar.
For everyone listening in, I hope this was productive for you and you learned something. I certainly did. And if you want to hear more such podcasts, please like, share and subscribe. Dr. Vinita, would you like to tell them to comment on the video also if they liked it?
Yeah, please comment on the video if you liked it, and please subscribe also.
Alright, thank you. This was Jibs Infotainment, and we look forward to providing you more content on psychology.